Hi, my name is Michael Harvey, and in the next 4 minutes I'm going to reveal my crazy revenge story of how I and over 56,000 others reduced our electric bill by up to 75% or more in just 30 days. In fact, many of us have completely eliminated our electric bill and now pay nothing to the electric company. And I'm sorry to say, but while we save money month after month, you end up paying more and more. Now, I don't know how you can reduce your electric bill by 75% or more in the next 30 days, guaranteed, and how you can break free from big energy for the rest of your life. All you have to do is watch the rest of this presentation, and I promise, in 30 days from now, you can slash your current bill by 75% or more. I looked at getting solar panels for a simple solar installation. And even then, this size system wasn't going to complete the search. Do you know solar cells are made from silicon? Did you also know that silicon is made from sand? When I discovered this, I thought, what the heck? How can they charge so much for solar panels when they're made from something as abundant as sand? It all comes down to sheer greed. If people are willing to spend this much on solar, then why would they sell their panels at a reasonable price? Right then it hit me like a frozen fish in the face. And like all great ideas, it was simple. I thought to myself, why don't I make my own solar panels? Now remember, I'm an electrician, so I had a fair idea on how solar panels worked. But actually building a solar panel isn't something you get taught when going for an electrical license. It seemed crazy at the time, but what if instead of paying some big energy exec for their overpriced electricity, I could become my own energy company? What if, for a fraction of retail cost, I could build my own solar panels and save a fortune? This really was my last option. If this didn't work, my quest to eliminate my electric bill would be over. After spending countless hours researching how I could make a solar panel, or if it was even possible, and after talking with various professionals in the industry, I had finally come up with a plan. I purchased all of the materials I needed from my local hardware store, and combined with the inexpensive solar cells that I sourced online, I took my plan to the backyard and got to work. In just a single day, I completed my first solar panel. The cost? The cost of my homemade solar panel was just $98 and a few cents. And I couldn't believe it. Here is a photo of me working on my solar panel. And here is another photo of me with my very first homemade solar panel. I finished my solar setup that same weekend and basically forgot about it for the next 4 weeks. Then, I saw the mailman. When I realized he just delivered Usually, my electric bill is anywhere between $120 and $160. But this time, I was looking at a figure of just $18. I was blown away. My homemade solar panels just saved me over $100. At the time, this was a huge deal. But I had only just scratched the surface with my do-it-yourself panels, and I knew I could save more if I scaled my system. In fact, I started toying with the crazy idea of doubling the size of my system to force the electric company to pay me. I was overwhelmed with motivation to build on my system. I started adding the savings and earnings up in my head. That was 4 years ago. Today, my power bill is 100% wiped out, and now I'm the one with all the cards. I now force the electric company to pay me for the electricity that I feed to the grid. Now they're calling me big energy. And over the last 4 years, I have saved over $4,721 off the cost of electricity. That's almost $5,000 that I've been able to spend on myself and my family instead of forking it over to the blood-sucking big energy companies. They probably hate me for doing this, but for too many years, I hated them too. The electric company is probably thinking of other ways to slug me with fees and charges, but you know what? My do-it-yourself solar setup is 100% legal and all above board. There's nothing they can do about it. It took a few months for my friends to admit I was on to a great idea, but eventually, every single one of them asked the same question. Can you do the same for me? Even my neighbors wanted a piece of the action. And as you watch this presentation, you probably want some help too. Well, education or electrical experience could build a solar panel using easy-to-find parts. The problem was, I was an electrician. Would the average Joe with no technical experience be able to make a solar panel like I did? To test out my methods, I found 43 people, both male and female, who were interested in solar but knew nothing about making panels. I gave them my guide and came back in a week to see what they had built. In 1 week, all 43 of the solar newbies were able to create a well-polished solar panel that generated enough electricity to run their household appliances. It was the solid proof I was looking for. I now knew that anybody, no matter their electrical experience, could use my simple-to-follow system to save a bucket load of money.